Let me tell you, sis, that is a dangerous prayer in a good way. Sis, are you tired of your past holding you back from the love, the joy, and the future spouse that you know God has promised you? Listen, I've been there, and today I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my story and also the steps that I took to get back on track and get into alignment with what God has for me. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. I am Lex of Lex and Lev, and here we talk all things kingdom, relationship, faith, and family. And I'm so glad you're here for this special edition of Girl Chat. Listen, I've been getting a lot of emails that, to be honest, it breaks my heart because I know what that was like when you're sitting in your waiting season, or as we heard from Pastor Ronnie last night, you are active in your waiting season. If you know, you know. If you didn't, check out the live. I'll post it in the description. But nevertheless, I just remember desiring to remarry, but also wondering, will someone want to marry me? That was a real thing that I struggled with. You see, for me, being widowed and also being a single mom, culture and society will try to tell you that as a woman, you really don't have much value. And as much as I knew that wasn't true, that was a really hard pill to swallow. And if I'm being really honest, those were the kinds of ideas that would often lurk in the back of my mind, or the button that the enemy would push when I just started to feel myself a little bit. Just like, oh, well, remember, you're still widowed, you're still a single mom. And it was really hard for me to put myself out there. Like, I didn't know how to start conversations or have conversations that didn't instantly feel heavy with having to share with someone like, hey, this is a part of my past. This is something that I've been through. That was really, really challenging. And then another area that I wrestled with was just being fully aware of my shortcomings. For some of us, we do have this knowing, and I've talked about it on this channel before, where I am still learning how to manage my temper. It's not fun to talk about. It's not something that I like talking about, but I talk about it because I know, one, it's healing and it's freedom for me, but I know that there are so many of you that have written to me and told me that that's an area that you struggle in too. And I was scared, really scared. Like, Lord, I don't want to get into another relationship and lash out at someone or go off on somebody and they run away from me. On top of that, I hate how I feel when it happens. And I know hate is a strong word, but that's exactly what was happening. Like, when I would have moments where I was upset or angry and I knew I was doing just a bit too much, there was this shame that I would experience afterwards, and I just didn't feel good about myself. When I was single, I found myself settling in my dating life because I didn't believe the person that was suitable for me would find me acceptable. And so I was accepting a lot of bare minimums. And I just realized, like, wait a minute, I'm really tired of this cycle. Like, I really don't like this. I don't like what I'm accepting. I don't like what is happening. And it was like this light bulb went off. Like, wait a minute, things don't have to be this way. And I've talked about it again in other videos, where for me, a major turning point was Valentine's Day 2021. I was in this like weird situationship, if you will, and I was expecting a date, a card, a flower, a piece of chocolate, something on Valentine's Day. And I didn't hear from the other person until like the end of the day, and they didn't even acknowledge the day. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what? You know, what have I done to deserve this? And why am I not getting what I desire? And needless to say, like, that ended shortly after that, if not that day, I don't remember now, but I share that story because that was the day that I said no more. That was the day that I decided, you know what, I would rather do this God's way than my way. And if that means that I have to wait a little bit longer and be alone, then so be it. And that was when everything changed. I started to really dive into my word and ask the Lord to show me what I look like to him. And let me tell you, sis, that is a dangerous prayer in a good way. In a good way. I remember scriptures just leaping out at me and instances where God would use my son to remind me and show me, you asked me to show you how I feel about you and how I see you. Well, this is how. And so things just started being revealed to me in a way that I know it was Holy Spirit answering my prayer. Another thing that I did was I asked for help, especially as it related to the temper and the areas within myself that I knew needed healing, that I knew needed help and guidance. And I got into therapy. I also had a coach, and that helped me tremendously because a lot of times, and it's honestly a topic for another video, but a lot of times we don't always know what causes us to do certain things and behave in a certain way. And once I got into therapy, I was able to learn and recognize that a lot of my temper had to do with my upbringing. And so I had to learn new ways, and I'm still learning new ways to emotionally regulate myself when I get upset and understand that even though something may be happening outside of my control, it doesn't mean that I have to show up in a certain way. But that was something that I learned, and I'm still learning skills on how to manage that. And that's not something I think I could have done by myself, or if I did do it by myself, it probably would have taken me a really long time. So I'm really glad that I asked for help in that area. And then the last thing was I stopped settling. You know, we've talked about counterfeits and getting ghosted and all kinds of foolishness that goes on when you're dating. And the truth of the matter is that when you recognize your value and your worth, there are certain things that you just don't attract anymore. And that's what I realized. Once I was like, wait a minute, I deserve for someone to acknowledge me on a special holiday or my birthday. I deserve to be treated with tenderness and kindness. I want someone that can accept me and my past and my flaws and is willing to work with me as I work on them, meaning my flaws. Once I realized, like, wait a minute, I actually do have something to offer. I actually do bring value to a relationship. That was when all of a sudden, honestly, it was like all of the foolishness just disappeared. I don't know how to explain it. It was like this weird phenomenon. And shortly after that was when I met Lev. And so it really is a matter of having this mindset shift and actively working on the areas that you know that you need healing and restoration. Our past is our past, and that's okay. We can't go back and change it, and we don't have to, because the truth of the matter is all of the things that I went through, including my widowhood, including my upbringing, including past relationships where I experienced losses and pain and struggling, all of those things didn't go to waste. Scripture says that all things work together for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose. Friend, if you're here because you're seeking a kingdom relationship, know that the things that you went through God can use those things to not just grow you, but position you to be the helpmate that you were designed to be. And I'm living proof of that. And so I want to encourage you, if this is resonating with you and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Subscribe now, because we talk about these kinds of things. And my husband and I, we put out content like this all the time, and we would love for you to be part of a family and be a cousin. And if you didn't know, Lev and I are actually hosting a workshop tomorrow. When this video goes up, it will be tomorrow. We're hosting a live workshop on Zoom called the Kingdom Love Unlocked Workshop. Listen, it's gonna be a really good time. And not just that, but we're also gonna be diving deep into teaching. We're gonna be teaching what it looks like to position yourself to receive the love, not only that you desire, but that God has ordained for your life. I will leave the registration link in the description box below. If you haven't registered, please do so. If you are watching this video after December, what is today? Today's the 6th. If you are watching this video after December 7th, we will have the replay link available for you in the description box. So you won't miss out. We will make sure that it's still available, because we really want, and our heart's desire is to equip as many people as we can that are desiring to have kingdom marriages, kingdom relationships, because at the end of the day, the kingdom is based on family. And it starts with healthy, godly marriages. And we know, my husband and I, we know that we have been called to serve in this area. So I'm not gonna cry. If you want to attend, please register. We will leave the link in the description box. So that is it, sis. I really hope that this video has been insightful. I know that there is so much more that we could be talking about in this video, but I wanted to, one, keep it a decent amount of time. But two, if you have follow-up questions, comments, thoughts, please let me know. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. And if there's something you want to share or you need help with and you want to keep it private, our inbox is always open. You can send me an email at lexandlevhunter@gmail.com. That's the best way to get in touch with us. Give me a couple days to get back to it, because we do get quite a few emails, but I promise you we respond to each and every single one. So until we meet again, just remember that hope and love is not just a phrase, it's a promise. So I'll see you in the next video, sis. Love you. Bye.